Over 100,000 protesters gather to pressure Belarus president to resign. This seems like their only hope, nationwide strikes. I hope they can outlast Lukashenko. Dude, fuck their government. What a bunch of pussy ass bitches. Best luck to Belarus, I hope they succeed. These people know that if this doesn't work, they will be on their own, an individual who can be arrested later. He's not going to resign. You see him today in military gear holding an automatic machine gun. It happened in South Korea, so keep up the protests. A revolution. I've seen how the US and HK deals with protesters over the past few months. I'm sure Belarus isn't any better. These people are brave for trying to bring about change. I hope it works better than it did in Hong Kong. White circle, white circle, raised fist. Edit. We just want freedom from dictatorship, peace in the country and a good future. Please go away and leave us alone. Yeah, why do we call someone like this a president? He is at most a usurper. If the army, police or the rich elites in Belarus turn on him, it is over. Or if everyone decides to stop working. No more money equals no more country. Rules for dictators. https://www. YouTube.com/watch, v equals rstl7 near 7gs and list equals ll2f6zjch17_njsjfl2kpuw and index equals 846. I hope they will succeed. Horrible things are happening in Belarus. People just want to live in peace with no violence and with new president. My hope for all dictators like Lukashenko is that his people get to play soccer in the streets with his head like Mao Zedong. Within the week, Belarus has so many wonderful people, but like most of Earth at this point we are sadly plagued by terrible government. 100,000 people could storm that motherfucker and rip him limb from limb. A common mistake is to compare the situation in Belarus to that of Ukraine. Until last year, Ukrainian politics centered around questions of geopolitical alignment, and a state structure friendly to the East vs a Kiev-centered republic. Also, Ukrainian political factions always had a militant edge to them, which both helped overthrow Yanukovych by protecting protesters, defend eastern Ukraine from Russia, and helped fuel the rebellion in Donbass. This is different from Belarus, where geopolitics is not a big factor in the protests and is motivated more to government incompetence during the pandemic and increasing wage cuts/unpaid overtime in state-run companies. There would be no plausible deniability during a Russian intervention because there is no clandestine politics or militancy that could be cited as responsible for a rebellion. The opposition has also avoided references to the EU or NATO, unlike in Ukraine, and only plans to form a provisional government. Also, unlike Ukraine or the Baltic states, Belarus doesn't really deny Russia access to an important geographical point, and isn't that useful to integrate into NATO unless you want to risk nuclear war by invading Russia itself. Incoming pro-Russian rebels that will stir shit in the country and create a civil war. There is no way Putin is accepting that a neighboring country becomes free and democratic. They should just drag him onto the streets. Why now? He has been there for almost 25 years. What ignited the wave of protests we experience now? Crazy. He's not Almighty God. There are systems propping him up. People will have a breaking point. Though change could take a long time, dude has started to walk around with an AK. Maybe just kill him. He's a danger to people as a whole, and allowing him to leave office to possibly wreak havoc from alternate positions in alternate bodies seems like a stupid move. Why do all the reports keep calling him their president? He's not. Minsk is 6 hours drive to Moscow. Literally on Putin's doorsteps. I am not holding my breath on Russia letting go. Let us see how Putin reacts. It appears like he wants to establish his own power there, whereas the EU is trying to keep everything democratic. In a shocking twist of events, Lukashenko has given in to political protest pressure and has resigned to a new 20-year contract to remain president of Belarus. How does this get him out? He said he needs to be killed, which means he will outlast everyone with his power and money. Or if the people do what's needed and storm him, he'll just have pigs open fire. Regardless of what happens, he will damage the country and the people immensely. He will never back down. People seems to forget NKVD https://www. bbc.com/news/blogs news from elsewhere 32752968. Where's Waldo? They told him to beat it, bozo. I wonder if the guy that said he'd have to be killed to be removed and also asked Putin to cover his back actually feels pressure from this. To the bad end. Maybe. I found Waldo. Reminding me of Euromaidan. Couple 100,000 more, they can easily oust him, it only takes 3.5% to make a change, and I'm sure there's many more throughout the country. Looks like there is gonna be a problem. Not one single mask in any of the photos. COVID does not exist in Belarus. We should all go. Pessimism aside, we can hope for the people of Belarus. They ran like rats, President of Belarus, about his own people. They are very brave people. I hope they can outlast Lukashenko. America, take note. Take notes, my fellow Americans, this is our future. This is what the United States should be doing no matter who wins the election. New York Post are Putin propagandists, just so you know. There are actually decent sources for this story. Something analogous to 2A would be real helpful right about now, considering he said they'd have to kill him to get rid of him. Cough. He's going to end up with a bullet in the brain. Hats off to the Belarusian people. If the kind of oppression and tactics that are happening there was happening in the US, I'm afraid the protests would all but stop immediately. That's the same number of people who signed against cuties staying on Netflix. GD luck to Belarus. Try to imagine 2 million PPL on the streets in HK last year and the chief executive still in command today.